Welcome to another day on Planet Doug. And this is where I am right now. The Plaza Rakyat station. Train is just leaving, so it's pretty noisy right now. I think of this as the secret LRT station. Whoa, another train just arriving. A lot of noise. But it's kind of like a hidden LRT station. You come to this, you have no idea how to get to it. It's very confusing how to leave from it. It's sort of tucked away and completely hidden. But the American Hobo is staying in a new hostel, or new to him. He moved out of the Rakyat boat hotel and moved into the Manor by Mingle hostel. And this is the closest LRT station to his hostel. So I just kind of zoomed down here. I'm going to head over to the Manor by Mingle and say hi to the American Hobo. The power of touch and go. So to get out of here, I think I know what I'm doing. Well, I could stop and look at the map, but I look at maps too often. I don't need the map most of the time. I just look at the map because I want to include it in the video, but not today. There's a coffee bot. I'm kind of tempted to grab a coffee, but maybe the American Hobo can make a coffee for me at his hostel. It has a kitchenette, and I was just chatting with him a couple of minutes ago, and he was enjoying a cup of coffee as he was working on his bicycle. Yeah, so why I call this as kind of a secret LRT station is partially for this reason. The main way to get in and out is through this bizarre tunnel. So you have to head down this tunnel and then you pop back out into the city. But everything here is kind of hidden, a bit of a secret. I remember long ago I was using Google Maps to get directions and walking directions. And this is where Google Maps wanted me to go because it looks like you can walk up here. But this is a school and that gate is always locked. And there's security guards there. So you don't get through the gate. And when I know from experience, when you walk through this tunnel, there's always 2 or 3 people there asking for money. And I generally have 1 or 2 ringgit sort of set aside waiting in my pocket that I can give to them. But I didn't today. I'm busy filming, I guess, so distracted me. Yeah, the big news is that Daniel, the American Hobo, he bought a new bicycle. So I was going to come here anyway just to check out his new hostel. But now, last night, in fact, he bought a new bike. And it happened really, really fast. As far as I know the story, maybe Daniel can confirm or deny. He's gotten to know a local man here who has been helping him out in his life in Kuala Lumpur, Arish. And Arish also made some American Hobo t-shirts for him. And the 2 of them went cycling on Sunday. There was like the car-free Sunday here in KL. And they met up and went for a bike ride. And I guess while they were on the bike ride, they were talking about bicycles and Daniel's plan to go to Sumatra. And I imagine Daniel was talking about some of the mechanical problems his bike has been having. In particular, he's been having a lot of flat tires. And it's becoming a little bit of a pain to have all these flat tires. So, and then Aresh, I believe, said, hey, I know of a used bike, good price, but in like brand new condition, that's for sale. And why don't we go check it out? And I guess they checked it out and Daniel bought it. So I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna go take a look at it. So if I know where I am, I think I have to go up here. Got to get across this intersection to get to his hostel. You learn all these secret pathways in KL as a pedestrian. You got to learn all these things. You got to come in here, and then you go out here, and then I've got to go up those steps and cross over the road system. I didn't find out about this new bike until late last night. Daniel posted a picture of it to his Telegram group. I'm a member of the group, and I check in from time to time, look for messages, people chatting on the group chat on Telegram, and there was a photograph of this bicycle and a list of specs. So I was eagerly reading through all the specifications and the parts and the features of this bicycle, assuming that Daniel had gone to look at it and he was thinking about it, and these are the specs, and he posted it, and we were all going to give our opinion. Is this a good bike or not? What about the price? Turns out he'd already bought it. So he owned it. It was his bicycle already. And yeah. Oh, and there's Daniel right now. We're using the WhatsApp live location, so he knows exactly where I am. So I guess he was tracking my progress, and he came to meet me. Yeah, it's funny. It's like a new toy. I just discovered WhatsApp live location like a couple of months ago, and since I discovered, I use it all the time. I think Daniel discovered it like 2 days ago. So it's like a new toy. We're always tracking everybody now with WhatsApp live location sharing.
Came out to meet you just because I'm not sure if you've been back there. It's kind of.
I know where it is. Yeah. Hello there to everybody in American Hobo land.
Yeah.
We're tracking each other on WhatsApp live location sharing. So.
Yeah, I was telling them when you got near here because it showed that you were actually like out front the door.
Oh.
But you were still on the train.
Yeah, I was still on the train.
It took you fast, and I was like, "Where's he going?" And there's he's on the train. So I decided to come out and meet. So Doug's dropping by. I'm going to show him the bike. I'm transferring everything over from my old bike to my new one, but like the kickstand is kind of not the right one I need. So yeah, we're just here to shoot the breeze and catch up.
Yeah, I've been in this area before and up and down this street. I've never gone inside to see Manor by the Mingle. The Manor by Mingle.
Yeah.
It's such a strange name, I always get confused. But I guess they just call it the Manor.
The Manor, yeah. I think Mingle is probably a business at bottom.
The owner, yeah.
Because the Mingle, like coffee shop or cafe. I'm waiting around.
Yeah, a whole new neighborhood for you to discover.
Yeah.
Check out that temple right there. Very cool. We got cars coming up behind us.
So.
Yeah, and there's the Maybank Tower.
Yeah, that's the cafe I ate at the other day. Only like 9 ringgit. Good plate of food.
It looks more high class than 9 ringgit from the photos, right?
For this?
Yeah, the food court you went to.
It was good. Yeah, no, I
really comfortable chairs, tables.
Now, so this might deter people right here because you see the gate.
Yeah.
And the guard shack. People are like, oh, private property. You know, people like me. But no, you can walk right in and then get to the food court, no problem.
Yeah, I've eaten there before. It was a long time ago.
Is it? Yeah, it's a big selection. It's like 2 stories of food court, but you have to get there around noon.
Right.
Because they at like 3 o'clock they pretty well shut down everything. So I think it was around 3 o'clock when I went yesterday, and I came in right as they were closing down.
Yeah, a lot of activity there behind us, all associated with the temple, especially with Diwali. These are the Daya or Dia. I can never remember how to pronounce anything. These little clay candles.
They're candles.
They float on the water. That was for the Festival of Lights.
I got
Deepavali or Diwali. But
yeah, they were setting off some fireworks here, and
yeah, they would have.
I mean, they were like super busy, but this is like been open the whole time since I've been here. Yeah. This little market, I'm assuming, and it's actually a nice little spot that's tucked back here.
Yeah.
Now, if you go up here, that's just all parking lot, and it goes into like just, I don't know, business district. So you don't get a lot of traffic over here, but if you want to go look at the night sky, I'm over here.
Right. Okay,
but if you want to actually kind of just sit on a wall or something, you can come over here. There's not much up here.
Yeah, I mentioned the Malaysian Stock Exchange. That's it there. Bursa.
Okay.
So that's the stock exchange building. The finance you mentioned. That's where.
Yeah,
that's
and
where
this
it's
is, I
coming
actually
from.
came in this way when I was getting here.
Oh, okay.
So Google Maps routed me this way, and when you're pulling up, it doesn't look like much because it's just basically a parking lot.
Right.
But some beautiful old trees, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed those. Look at that.
Yeah,
Those are
very nice
gorgeous.
trees. So, like, if you want to come here and get like away from the noise a little, you don't get a really good view because the amount of the big buildings around you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you're always surrounded.
it's not a bad neighborhood. But maybe if you're here with your car, there's a spot to park your car. Well,
So the story of this bicycle, I was trying to tell it. You were probably chatting with Arish
Irish,
about Arish?
Irish, kind of like
Irish.
Irish with an A.
Okay.
Irish.
Arish. You were chatting, I assume you were out on your bike ride on Sunday, and you're probably talking about bikes, your plans to go to Indonesia, and you're wondering whether your current bike was strong enough for, and he said, hey, I know about a bike that's for sale. Is that
Well,
how
yeah,
it came about?
he keeps looks at the marketplace on Facebook all the time.
Okay,
and a
from
few of them,
Facebook.
yeah, a few of them popped up that were like his. This one actually, he says is better than his. But he showed it, and at first I'm like, nah, 800 ringgits. But then, you know, that's at my top side. You know what I'm saying? That's like $200. That's
Right.
getting out of the cheap bicycle phase. Here's the Manor.
So it's
So-
getting out of the cheap bicycle phase, but you bought it
But it's
anyway.
still-
what
it's-
convinced you?
Well, it's still in the cheap bicycle phase.
Right.
It's like $200.
Yeah.
So what convinced me to start thinking about like how many flats I had, right? I'm like, flat. I'm like, I have to invest in better, better tires. And Puka Life, one of my very first subscribers mentioned, hey, you should get some better tires. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. But you start looking at the better tires and stuff, it's like 300 ringgit for a better tire.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And it was like, that's 2 tires, that's 600 ringgit. And it was like, and they're like, oh, we don't make, the bike artisan was like, oh, we don't even make, size 26 anymore. We had to special order that. So size 26 is getting phased out by size 27.5 or something.
Oh, didn't even know about that.
And 29, because if you Google it right now, you'll notice that it's like, oh yeah, only the older bikes. Like, well, I'm still thinking 26, the more common one in Malaysia and stuff like that.
It is, yeah.
I don't know if Google's just like going by with the, I don't know. Anytime I hear 29, I think higher end, always. When I see tubeless, I see higher end. And
I see, yeah.
so anyway, that just had all the parts on it. For 800 ringgit, I think, around brand new, I think they're around 2,000 ringgit. The guy had it, only put about 60 kilometers on it. He's kind of in bad health, so he didn't, younger guy too, in bad health. So it was like he couldn't do a lot of riding. He never took it off. It was 60 kilometers on the street. Come on over. And it just had all the good parts. You'll see, it's brand new. So honestly, it's a really good bicycle. So it's got the 29s, right? And
Yeah, they look huge.
it's got,
I'm not used to that.
I'm not real, it's like hydraulic brakes.
Oh.
So if something goes wrong with the brake, I'm gonna have to figure out hydraulic brakes. I have no clue about hydraulic brakes. Plenty of gears. Let's see.
11, I think. 11 speed, or 22 speed, really.
Yeah, 11.
And then 2 in the front, so it's 22 speed.
Yep, 2 in the front. So
But the key, of course, the first thing I noticed, this giant sprocket on the cassette.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
that's the granny gear for the
Well,
uphills.
not really. This one on the front is the granny
Oh,
gear.
excuse me. Yeah,
That
maybe
tiny
the-
one. I don't know if they have a special name for this or not. That's like,
Okay, so the granny gear is considered the front one, never the back one.
right.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Like I said, now I switched the kickstand around,
you already got this
the one I don't like.
Right.
But look at this right here.
Oh,
It's
the
like
pedals hit it?
way close. At least the back of my foot hits it pretty
Your
well.
heel will hit it, okay.
Also, this is a quick release in back,
Right.
so I need to get a I need to get a carrier for my panniers and stuff. I got to convert it, like you said. I need to convert it for bike packing,
Right.
which it's a quick release, so it's not really meant to be bike packing. But you know, there is that one that clips to the frame, so I need to get one of those. Maybe a new kickstand, and I think that's it. And a can of black spray paint.
You got to get rid of the red.
Yeah, I got to put the American Hobo on the side.
What about your handlebars there? You got red grips there.
Oh no, I keep the red grips. I don't mind that.
You're okay with them?
Yeah. But it's a nice bike. It's brand new. It'd be a shame to actually hit it with a can of spray paint, but the cheaper it looks, the less likely it'll be to be stolen.
I know. The way it looks now, it looks like something worth stealing. I can see somebody
Yeah.
looking at that going,
Yeah, the brand new.
Yeah.
And if I just put the spray paint, just this part, American Hobo on the side, it'd be less likely to get stolen.
And you've got the clip-in pedals. You'll
I
have to switch
replace
those
these.
over.
Yeah, I mean, I can still pedal it.
But you can put your old pedals in there, or
I don't know. I don't look at this. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and I got the tool, I think.
yeah, that's what my bike has. They're amazing. They're
Yeah. Okay, I got the tool for it.
you know.
This was for. What was this for? Oh, this is for the kickstand.
Just a much easier way to loosen the pedals using that than the old way I used
So
to
I just
have.
put my old ones on. Is there any way just to get rid of this?
I mean, you go crazy with a hacksaw, you can probably do anything, right?
Well, I was thinking if they clipped out, I could probably. Yeah, and then I'll just give. Do you have these shoes?
No, I've never used them.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't mind having small pedals like that. It's just this little top part sticking up. So, yeah, so replace this, new kickstand, and I'm going to have to get a new for the backside.
Yeah.
And and then I just probably lessen the weight on my panniers, but keep my panniers for carrying food and water.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, you got the mounting points for a rack right there. What are you
Yeah, I
talking
was
about?
looking at that. You think that's for a rack?
Yeah, that's for
That's
rear
such a
rack.
small nut for a
No,
rack.
it's fine.
Okay.
That's what it's.
I
that's
thought
what
it
they're
was
for.
most likely. Okay.
When you sent a picture, but the way the angle was, I couldn't figure out what it was.
The reason
it looked
why
like it
is
was
the
filled
bolt,
in.
The bolt hole on the rack is for the full size, axle. That's small, but I guess I could.
Well,
Okay.
like what I think of as normal pannier racks, so that's what they attach into.
Oh, do they do?
They come with their own bolts, and they bolt right into there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's what my bike has.
Then I'll try and switch it out. I might need a few of these then.
Yeah, you just got it. It's much nicer because then the bar comes straight down.
Yeah,
All
that's
the
if it
weight-
fits on the back.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Like I
you're
do
be-
have this, so yeah, you're most likely right. That's probably there for that.
Yeah.
Then, but look at this right here for the front. The fender.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's. I mean, there's no clearance
Oh yeah,
there.
there's not much clearance. Yeah, 29-inch wheels. That's the penalty, right? You pay.
Yeah.
You have less clearance top.
Well, you think you would with a 29-inch wheel, you'd have the offset a little higher,
Yeah.
but that's all right.
But again, yeah, it's not a road bike, so they're not thinking of you riding on a wet pavement touring. It's meant for mountain biking.
yeah. But even mountain bike, you're gonna kick up some mud on
That's
yourself.
true, but
They make some very small plastic ones, like really small. That'll probably pick up.
Right. Have
So-
you done an official count of the teeth? I'll do that right now, because I'm wondering whether the stats that you showed are accurate. Your granny gear on the
Oh, no,
front,
I-
it looks smaller than what you listed. So I want to count those teeth.
I think
A standard granny gear is 22, but that looks smaller than 22, which is, no, I guess that's 22. I'm going to count. So we've been fiddling around with this bike, and I counted the teeth, and it does have the granny gear on the front, a standard 22 tooth ring on the crankset. So that's, yeah, you don't get anything smaller than that, so that's a true granny gear on the crankset. And the rear one on the cassette is 46 teeth. So it's a combination 22, 46. So this thing can go straight uphill. It's got a lot of climbing power.
Sorry, I butt called you.
What's that?
I dialed your phone by accident while I was in my pocket. Just ignore that last one.
I'll ignore it.
Yeah. Now I'm just trying to see if it's actually got, I'm pretty sure there's a hydraulic brakes, so.
Yeah, we're trying to figure all this out. He was thinking it has hydraulic brakes, and I can't tell him whether he does or doesn't because I've never
had hydraulic brakes either, so.
And I don't want to fiddle with anything because I don't want to screw anything up. I mean, you could unscrew this and see if there's a cable underneath, but I don't want to. I don't want hydraulic fluid to go spraying everywhere.
It's a Shimano MT200, so I have to look.
Yeah, 29-inch wheels. Oh, and the other thing is, I was worried there was no way to mount a pannier rack, but now that I have a closer look at it, yeah, right here. He's got the mounting, which is very, very cool. So you can buy a standard pannier rack, and it just screws into here, one on each side, and yeah. So it's, should work out quite nicely for a bit of bike packing in Sumatra.
Yeah, they're hydraulics. The Tektro is a hydraulic brake.
Okay.
I don't think it originally had the Tektro, maybe. Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Everything's nice and clean, brand new, not covered in oil. That's amazing. Very nice. Very exciting.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a cheap brake system, but it is a hydraulic brake system. Okay, can I show him this around real quick?
Yeah,
Doug?
Not staying here, but maybe in the future. I didn't know about this place before.
Sorry, I'll check in. So yeah, this is actually, they had like, these are the events that they do.
Oh, I see.
So they do like daily events. You sign up at the front desk here. And yeah, so like barbecue party, yada yada. Just sign the clipboard up front. And then they have books, beer, soda.
I often wonder why more places don't do that. Like, just put a fridge in your lobby, fill
Have
it
some
with
beers.
People will buy it like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Not even just beer, but just cold drinks of any kind. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice to have. You don't. I mean, even though in the 99 speed mark's right around the corner there, if it's raining like it is today, it's so convenient just to have that.
Yeah.
And then they actually have Netflix, which is very rare with all the movie channels and stuff like that.
That Malaysian movie Abang Adik is supposed to be on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
But,
I looked up the building.
But I don't know if it has probably has it on Netflix. It'll have English subtitles.
Yeah,
you could watch it here.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
maybe
yeah,
I didn't
nice,
think about looking that up.
Communal seating area here, just very nice. Love this area.
Yeah.
And then some like sofas here. Yeah.
Then the
big and
kitchenette's in here.
open. Air conditioning, fans. Cool.
And you basically have the kitchenette with hot water, cold water, microwave here.
Nice and clean. It's cleaner than most places I'm familiar with.
Well, they clean the refrigerator every day at 10 o'clock. So like every day it's cleaned out. That's how you can tell if if they take care of the rest of the place or not. But then I think it's private rooms up top. Private room, maybe. Kind of. So this is the dorm I was staying in. So these two are dorms.
I see.
I was staying in here, but I'm switching over to the pool side.
Yeah, we don't have to see inside the dorm. We know what they look like.
This is kind of different. You can watch my video. I show the inside of the dorm. The shower, sink, but then you have outside. You have the two showers here. So you never have to wait for a shower. You always have.
Yeah, that's key.
You got 4 of them.
1, 2, and then another one over there.
4 here,
4.
and then actually 2 up here too. So
there's more
you
floors.
Got 5 here and 7, so 7 total. And there's my old bike, which I'm stripping down.
Oh yeah, okay. The poor thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it made a journey from Johor Bahru all the way to the north and back down again. It covers.
Yeah, it made in Malaysia, and it actually has some. I just replaced 2 parts on it. It's just I'm going to step up, see how 29-inch wheels do, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, see if there's a big difference in the quality. So if you're. And all their hot water works good here. None of these are cold water showers.
Look at all those air conditioners mounted up.
This is not real big. I mean, it's enough to keep you dry.
Yeah, it does it, sort of.
A little rain gets in here, but you know, then they're doing some work over there.
Right. Has that been a problem, the construction noise at all?
No, not at all. Actually, I haven't seen them working out there.
I always love it when they tear down a building and it leaves the shadow on the other one still, you know?
Yeah.
Where it was attached. It's kind of like a cement shadow.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they're doing it by hand or what. I don't see any, like, I see the bucket and all that, but it almost looks like an archaeological dig.
Yeah, it does. They tore
You know.
something out of there, but
I said, like, it's basically overlooking an alley, and you know, alleys are alleys.
now I can understand why this place has a good reputation.
They keep it clean. They clean the bathrooms at least 3 or 4 times a day. You'll walk in there and you'll smell the pine saw. And you're like, oh, good. You know, I mean, they're clean.
So it doesn't really have a lot of floors, though. This is just like 2 floors. I thought maybe it went higher, but
No, it's
there's
the top's probably a storage unit.
yeah. Huh.
I said I don't know how long these clothes have been here, but
You got to be sure of your footing going down these.
yeah. Let me grab the card. I'm gonna go relocate to put my stuff over. So I'll have to come out and, oh, you know what? I can take these off and use them on my other bike.
For sure.
Yeah, okay, I don't need to go get the extra. See, so. Yeah, it won't work because look how small these are compared to how big that is. You know, that's like a big hole. So I would have to put a washer on it of some type.
Yeah, well, you never know. Okay.
That's what I was talking about. Was
Mm-hmm.
like, because these are for clamping onto the.
Right.
If I tried to put,
It might.
yeah, like this, it would not even hold it.
No.
That other hole could have been for a different type of brake, maybe? I don't know. I'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, you could strip all kinds of parts off of that bike.
Yeah, it doesn't have much more to go. I mean, that was the whole point of getting the other bicycle.
We've moved over to a different part of the hostel. Like it's the building right beside it, and they apparently have some rooms here as well. I don't know if there's private rooms, but they definitely have like a dorm room there. And Daniel has moved from that building over to this one, and this one has a different style to it. Yeah, you can see the age of the building. It's very, very classy, very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, wooden rails, wooden stairs, very solid. It's very cool.
So I got to remember that I got my mic, your mic on. So if I start talking in here, I'll
doesn't
show up on
matter.
his video. So anyway, I just wanted to show that there's the lockers are a really decent price. Yeah, these are the newer beds, plenty of room, huge AC unit. So it's very, very, there's no one in here. I took a peek.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about this one though. So yeah, very spacious, very nice, and yeah, that's a little walkthrough, but you can see that I have all my junk in the lock and there's plenty of room. So perfect, guys. So if you can, get on the pool side.
Oh, yeah.
Try and get on the pool side one.
But we haven't seen the pool yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Doug down right now. Check out the pool.
And they have
But
one.
yeah, what Doug was just pointing out on his video, these are like nice wood, sturdy, like steps, wooden steps. The laundry, they have a promotion right now that you don't have to pay for it, so it's free.
For the laundry.
For the rest of I think that she said October. You guys saw this on my last video. They have the restrooms and the showers, and then the beautiful pool right here.
Ah.
Nice This is why I wanted to come here, actually, more than anything. I wanted to have a nice sitting area down up by the pool. Although I'm not a big pool type person, like going swimming and stuff, I do like the fact that you can sit out here and just enjoy this view right here. You know? So, yeah. Isn't this nice? Yeah, and you got a beautiful tree right over here, you know? I like this. I mean, this is definitely worth the $7 a night. You know? I mean, $7 plus the 3 ringgit, so. See what the. Yeah, it's a cool, nice, cool pool. Clean water. And 2 more little showers here. You're never in the need for a shower. There's never going to be a waiting list for the showers like there are in some spots where they have, you know, they have like 20 people, 20 bunks and 2 showers. You're not going to have that here. So, yeah, I can't say enough. This is actually, I love the Explorer because of the rooftop, but honestly, I'll take this place. Just the overall package of this place is just better. And just because you're on the pool side doesn't mean you can't go over and just hang out in the kitchen and the lounge on the other side and watch Netflix. All right, that's all I'm gonna do for now. And me and Doug will figure out what we're gonna do for the rest of the day.
Maybe Pannier rack shopping, you never know.
Maybe, if you wanna go with me. I mean, it's up to you.
I don't want to go too far. I've done my share of going to bike shops in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But if there's a nearby Decathlon, I'll go there with you.
That's what I was thinking, just Decathlon.
I didn't know there was one near here.
I had to look.
Oh.
I thought there was one at this mall, but I had to double look. That one, it's about a kilometer away, kilometer and a half. It's the mall right there.
Yeah, with the dual microphones, you don't have to worry about it because it's on split audio.
Oh, so if I'm talking and you're talking,
It's on a different audio track.
You can cut that out.
It's just gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I was getting ready to start talking.
Yeah, I know.
Then I heard you in the hallway.
Okay.
But I better not talk.
Yeah.
So.
No, with these roads, you can have it set to merge them onto one audio track or split them onto 2.
Take them off. Okay.
I always have them split for that very reason.
That's good to know.
So the new place where Daniel moved to, yeah, it's right here. So that's where we were. That's the Manor. This is also the Manor, but it's just a slightly different building, and that's where they have the swimming pool. But anybody staying here could also just go in the main building, and there you can hang out in the lobby, in the common area, take part in all the activities. But yeah, a bunch of other places here I'm familiar with. The Step Inn guest house is over there. Hotel 99. Not really a hostel kind of place. And then I just noticed this restaurant right here.
Yeah, it's got a restaurant.
Got an Indian vibe going on there.
And you can actually go to the busy area down this street if you don't want to be on the main busy street, and it'll take you all the way to the spot with the lanterns up in the air. Right. I mean, very like lively night market and stuff.
And right across the road is the Hotel Casa Via. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks interesting from the outside. I don't know what the prices are like, though.
What about this building here?
I don't know.
Oh, it looks like it's for sale.
It's for rent.
So it's empty.
So the Manor owns this one and that one.
And that one.
They might be in negotiation with this one.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Why not?
Right.
Buy up the whole block.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, look at this. Probably started the same way at one time.
Yeah.
Now they got 1, 2.
It's a very interesting place.
This spot, I mean,
so where's the signature, the hotel signature?
The hotel signature is right here. So the hotel signature, yeah.
Oh, right there, because there's another one, yeah, which
is not expensive. It's an OYO, which surprised me because if you look at the outside and you look at the lobby,
yeah, it looks like a more
expensive.
upscale hotel.
Yeah, and so when I was like, oh, fancy spot, they're only about $15 a night. So, which is 60 ringgit, right? Well, they're probably 80 ringgit right now because everybody's selling out.
No, I keep saying that in Malaysia, to be honest, the best value is in hotels like this. If you're willing to spend 80 ringgit, 100 ringgit a night, these hotels offer the best value, I think. I mean, hostels are cheaper, but compared to neighboring countries, they're not actually good value for what you get. But the good value, I think, lies in places like this. Assuming you don't want the hostel vibe. I mean,
Yeah, if you don't want to do the cheap hippie thing like me, you
Yeah.
still have a cheap alternative right next to it.
Yeah.
And they're about the same price as a single room over here.
I don't know if I believe that. I'd have to look it up right now. This has got to be more expensive. Like,
You would think so, but
yeah, we'll look it up right now and
Yeah.
find out. So we did look up the prices. Like today, the Signature Hotel is listed on Google Maps as a 3-star hotel, and it was 81 ringgit per night. And I got a room at the Raja Boat for 56, but they're advertising right now at the Raja Boat for 67. So if you went from 67 up to 80, another 13 ringgit, you could stay at the Signature. So that, it's much better value. If you just jump up to 80 ringgit a night, life becomes a lot easier in terms of accommodation.
yeah. And also we also looked up, the Manor does have private, looks like private rooms about $10, so
But what is that in ringgit?
40 ringgit, around that.
Okay, 40 ringgit. When I looked, I never saw anything for 40 ringgit. I saw them there for 70, but maybe you got a better
Yeah,
deal.
no, well, that's what I said. They always juggle the prices. Like you just noticed that now there's another last room on Raja Boat. Are we going to the...
Masjid Jamek? It's down that way, right?
Yeah, so the plan is I guess just go to Decathlon for the hell of it.
Yeah. We've got Pannier racks on the brain, so we just thought we'd drop by Decathlon, see what they have.
Because Decathlon's usually going to be the cheaper option to go with first.
Right.
Assuming just kind of do a window shopping.
And I know they do have some Pannier racks there.
Yeah.
Most bike shops won't have them.
Yeah.
Only specialty ones for touring will have them. So.
That's what they're called, is Pannier racks.
Yeah. Well, being a Canadian, we stick with more of the traditional French, so we say Pannier because the R is silent. Pannier racks. But I think most people in the world say Pannier. Like in the United States, everybody says Pannier.
Panner, yeah.
Pannier racks. And that sounds really weird to me. I like.
Did we go?
No,
No? Okay.
just up here. That would take us to Rakyat,
Oh, okay.
Plaza
I gotcha.
Rakyat station. But that's a different line. That's the Ampang Sri pedaling line.
And
We
there's-
need Masjid Jamek,
Okay.
which is the Kelana Jaya line. See, I know these things.
Yeah.
I know these names,
And here's the May. That's where I went to the ATM. This ATM's not listed. So you go up here, there's plenty of ATMs.
Those
on
are the
second
ones I
floor.
use all the time.
Yeah.
There's the Burmese restaurant right there. The sign is misleading. That fancy green and yellow sign
Yeah.
makes it look like a fancy place, but if you go
But
in the
there's-
building and up on the second floor on
okay.
the inside.
Is that the one you sent me a link to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a really interesting restaurant. It's got really good vibes.
Okay, I'll go there next time because I must have got rid of what you actually showed me.
Oh yeah? We're on our way to KLCC, to the Decathlon, and the American Hobo. He's recording some video footage of the train going through the tunnel. Yeah. I've recorded so many train trips through the window like that. Jumped ahead in time. We're on our way to Decathlon. We really are, but we both were feeling a little bit peckish. Blood sugar dropping.
Yeah,
So
blood sugar
we stopped
dropping.
off at this place, this Hainanese, the chicken rice place, whatever it's called. I can't remember the name of this place, but anyway, it's like the chicken rice place. And they had a lunch special going for like $10.90, right? $10.90. Got us a drink of our choice, a little bit of rice, and
We're supposed to get some vegetables with
roast
it?
chicken. Yeah, I think in the photo there was some veggies.
Yeah,
of some kind,
I mean, they show some vegetables, and also you'd think we'd have some vegetables.
But the food has arrived, and this is basically what it looks like. Yeah, it's not a bad deal for a lunch special. Maybe these are the vegetables here. There's a little bit around the chicken.
It might be. I don't know.
And then some soup.
Yeah, it looks standard.
Yeah.
I think you might be right. That might be the.
They didn't lie. You did get vegetables, sir.
Got it. Yeah, you're true.
Sir,
Yeah.
what do you mean? There's the vegetables, and you get
It is. It's underneath.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
underneath. But yeah,
Roasted.
I'm always a big fan of this QR code system. But when I tried to order this time, I was really confused by their system. It took me a long time. I still don't really understand it. But anyway, we're going to have something to eat. I don't know how they feel about cameras inside Decathlon, but I'll record a minute or two.
Yeah. I don't think they care.
Yeah, I've shot video inside here before, so I think we're okay. But yeah, here's the bicycle section.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know they sold so many bikes, actually.
Yeah, this one has a better. They're all a little
here's
different.
oh. You found something of interest over here. Oh yeah, some kickstand action.
Yeah. Which I'm probably going to need a kickstand.
Huh, that one looks nicer than anything I've seen. Look at all that stuff. Yeah, I saw one bike over there has a pannier rack. Oh, it's not really pannier, it's more like a cargo rack.
Yeah. Okay.
But it has the style that I was talking about.
Okay. With the.
Like it.
Oh, you're right.
It screws into the bottom, into
okay.
those two little holes.
You're right. So mine's just a different type.
Yeah.
So I'll have to buy one of these then.
So that's how it works, yeah. These just
Okay.
screw
And
into
it's
there.
adjustable for if I need the 26 inch, I just go up. It's adjustable there.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels solid enough, man. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I can adjust it for. This is a 26. Right. So just up a little
Yeah,
higher.
and these can be aimed downward. Like
Yeah, farther.
any angle you want.
And yeah, I think that's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a heavy-duty rack, but it could.
Yeah, I can drop some weight.
It can do the job for
Yeah.
now, maybe.
Like I said, I need to get back to my bare minimum because you know how I used to travel with just 7 kilo in my backpack? I need to get back to an empty panniers just for food and water when I'm going out camping.
Yeah, this is an actual touring bike. I'm surprised they sell something like that here, because it has like mounting
Here's
points.
that kickstand right here.
Yeah. Okay, let me take a look at that.
So I think I could
Okay.
get. Remember, so mine bolts up here.
Yeah.
And it kicks back to right here where my heel is actually smacking into it. So I need something that kicks backwards farther.
The one I have, the one that I like, mounts here and here. So
Yeah, I had one of those. Those
all
are
the
kind of
way
nice.
across.
Yeah.
Well, it's the one I have now, except it's really, the one I bought in Canada is one piece. It's like one
Yeah.
solid piece.
Yeah.
But the one I bought here is two, and then the metal in between is just way too weak. It just bends. So we've had some time to kind of dig into the details, and as far as the American Hobo is concerned, he's got one option here, really realistic one, which is this one.
And it's the last one. It also says it's safe for children,
Yeah.
where the rest of them say no.
Right.
So if you're going to make the claim that it's safe for children, it's probably the best well-built one. About 100 ringgit. It comes around to 25 bucks. It says it's up to a 700, which would be like
29 inch.
it's about 29 inch. So
It has this,
Yeah.
you can extend how long the legs are. It has like 3 settings here.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So you'd
longer.
be the farthest one out, and probably also if you have fat children.
Well, yeah, your child has to be under 27 kilograms. That's,
Yeah.
it can't be 100 kilogram
You got to leave the fat
child.
children at home. So anyway, yeah, that probably looks the best.
It's a
That's
heavy.
probably what
it
I'll
is
need.
heavy though. That's a heavy beast.
It's a heavy beast, but the thing is I'm also going to be going a long distance carrying a backpack. I don't. Now for the Pannier bags. That's what I need to actually, it only has one down bar. No, it has two down bars, excuse me. Okay, so it would stop the panniers from actually going in the, so it looks like the one I probably need. Now the difference is should I wait till I get over to the bicycle shop? I know this is a, go to the Go-Go bicycle shop.
Okay.
I'm thinking about.
Oh, like they may have another
They might.
style.
I still think that probably Decathlon's gonna be the cheapest, but I'm not sure.
Right.
Like here's the bags that I got.
Right.
For some reason I was thinking they were 60, but so that's 99 for the double, which is not bad. It's waterproof, decent for $25. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot more here than I expected. A lot more parts, tools, tubes.
Yeah.
I didn't know Decathlon had gotten so heavily into bicycles.
They're all different. So like if you go to a different Decathlon, it might not have a bicycle selection like this.
Okay.
So just like right here, I don't have the 29 feet. I don't have that type of
It's a Presta valve.
yeah, I don't have a Presta valve. I don't have a Presta valve on my bike, but they don't have the 29-inch one. So this one actually has a good selection. It does. It's got a decent selection. So.
Going high tech, self-checkout.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Have you used these machines before?
Yeah. You just kind of put your products down there, and it knows what your product is.
And then how do you pay?
You have to put in your. Gmail or whatever that you have, your email address, and then I'm not sure if you can actually do it without it.
And then it's just a credit card purchase?
Yeah, that's basically it.
Cool. So we made a purchase. Look at that.
Yeah.
He's a man on a mission. When he goes out to buy a pannier rack, he gets one. He doesn't mess around.
Well, I don't think I'd get anything at the bicycle shop for anything any less. So I definitely think Decathlon's probably going to have the cheapest selection. So yeah.
There it is.
There it is. Now
It should do the job, we hope.
Yeah. If not, I still got plenty of time to. I got plenty of time to figure out something else that'll work. If it doesn't.
And we're right here in the middle of all the action as far as buildings are concerned. That's why I thought I'd get the camera out. Petronas Towers up there. Towers there. Towers in all directions. Look at that. It's just insane.
And the water show at night around here, right?
Out back.
Yeah.
And that's where the Decathlon is. Right there at the base. One more spin around to look at all the towers. Makes me dizzy, man. Check that out.
Hey Doug, we crossing?
I better go. Yeah, they really upgraded this pedestrian crossing. Never used to be so fancy.
Well, it's their busiest place at night, especially.
Yeah, it's be crazy
because
busy
the water
at night.
show that's here. That was an awesome water show.
Yeah.
I accidentally stumbled across that by accident. I was just coming for the Twin Towers, to see that, and I stumbled across that water show at night.
It's probably the best way to find anything, right?
Yeah.
Instead of going there deliberately, you're just kind of surprised because you stumbled across it.
Yeah.
There we go. So,
all right.
We're gonna hop back into the.
Yeah, we're gonna get back towards. I'm gonna break away from Doug here pretty soon and start heading back to my place. See if this works out. Which is sure there shouldn't be any problem.
Yeah, it should be fine.
The one I couldn't use off my bag, I know. The one that's I couldn't use on my off my old bike is because it mounted to the back
axle. Yeah.
So the hole would have been too small for the actual screws themselves. So everything should work out great.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So we're back at the Manor, the American Hobo's temporary new home. And just to have something to end the video with, I wanted to come all the way back with him and at least see whether the rack fits on the bike or not. And just as we were leaving from Decathlon, look at the weather that moved in. Just heavy rain coming down. We popped inside for like 30 minutes to try and wait until the rain stopped. But when we came outside, it was raining even heavier than when we went in. So we got back here a little bit wet. And Daniel is assembling his new rear rack. Yeah, it's taking shape. I'd say. Now we're just going to see whether in terms of the overall size.
Not bad.
How does it fit?
No, it's got some wiggle room. Looks like it's even.
Oh, it's perfect. There's nothing.
It's down here.
There. Oh, down there. Okay.
So if it's down here,
you might even be able to drop it down one.
I don't think I could. Oh, wait. I got you. That's how I'd have to go.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, look at this part in the back, though. There. Yeah, I'll put everything on.
Yeah.
Then I'll start tightening everything down. I think that'll probably be the smartest way.
At a glance, it's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's going to fit.
Yeah.
That's the best we could ask for, really.
Alright, I think I can cinch everything down from here. Everything looks like it's sitting alright. So everything else just tightening down. Yeah. So really, yeah, it's going to be hard to get my backpack on that one.
That's what I was thinking just now. It's pretty narrow. Goes way underneath your seat.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if it was
a little farther out. It has these two metal things in here. These three metal things.
Yeah.
I can probably get like, this is also up. I could probably get an extension, like a piece of wood, like to kind of go up underneath this and just extend it out a little bit, you know, about that far out.
Yeah, you might have to.
And then that'll probably stop the mud from flinging up, and I won't need a back fender if I have like just a piece of wood that extends it out, only about 6 inches, you know. So
yeah, that little gap here will come in handy then.
Yeah, make it like a little paddle or something, you know, like kind of comes in and then out and expands over, something like that. Anyway, it's a lot better than what I had though, you know. I was kind of freaking out this morning because the rack I had, and then looking at the quick release in the back, I'm like, oh, I don't even know if they make them for quick releases. And they do, but that's why having you around here, Doug, what kind of helped out. You're like, no, they have them for those bolts. Like, you know, I'm just going by what I had on the other bike. So that's why it's...
So using the bolts, that's the standard way, what you have there, but...
Yeah, I didn't know that, though. You know, it's like... My last bike was either a motorized bicycle or an electric bike, and I didn't have a rack on either of them. So, like I said, I learned enough just to where I could repair my own things, but not really know all the parts and everything. So like hydraulic brakes is that once that I have a problem with my hydraulic brake, that's going to be another issue altogether. You know, I've never worked on the hydraulic brakes, so have to Google it. From here, yeah. So the backpack will stick out a little, but most of the weight's from side to side, so there's going to be little rolling back and forth. As long as I can cinch it down, it will stick out a little, but that's all right. I'll have my panniers.
So he has an idea perhaps for just putting in a piece of wood underneath here that sticks out the back, so we'll extend it by 6 or 8 inches.
I can do that, yeah. Just because that's where I carry my water bottles, you know, and having that a little extra, like support underneath the water bottles. Yeah, you see what they do in Vietnam, you know, with the ingenious ways that they make their pannier bags on their motorbikes and stuff. You know, I mean, it's just crazy with the ingenuity of you give a, when you have a need and you need to fill that need any way possible, and you know what? It's just we're gonna have to ride this for a few thousand kilometers before we find out all its little nicks and knacks and, all the little things that want to go wrong with it, Got to put a lot of mileage on it.
Anyway.
All right.
I'm out of here.
Bye, people.
I decided to end today's small adventure back in my room at the Raja Boat Hotel, simply because the rain was just pouring down. It was like, what a slog that was, like walking from Daniel's new hotel. What's it called? Yeah, the Manor. Walking from the Manor. I had to get back to the main street and then go over this pedestrian bridge and then through a parking tunnel and then across another busy street and more tunnels. And the whole time, the rain is just dripping from everywhere, coming from the sky, coming from the buildings, coming from everywhere. I don't know, it's just such a miserable experience in a big city walking around in a heavy downpour. It's just, it's exhausting. And then I got into the LRT. You're waiting on the platform, everybody's wet, like everybody around you is soaking wet, wet umbrellas everywhere. It's just miserable. Anyway, I didn't want to get out my GoPro and record that particular journey. And I rode it all the way back to the Titiwangsa monorail station. And then I got on the monorail and then came back here. And then I had to walk. It's not that far, but again, in rain, everything is so much more difficult. It's really something. Anyway, I did not want to get my GoPro and my microphones out because I knew something would get wet and something would get destroyed. So here I am. I had an interesting conversation with Daniel just before I left. I didn't get it on video, but we were still working on his pannier rack. And something I've thought about a lot, and this situation encapsulated it perfectly, is that so many modern products are designed and manufactured to be universal, meaning that pannier rack can be adjusted to fit any size bike. It gives you a range, it can fit this 26 inch, 27 and a half inch, 28 inch, 29 inch, 700C, this number of frame sizes. It lists all of these different sizes of bicycles and wheels that it can fit. And then you as a consumer, you look at that, you think, oh, what an amazing product. You think of that as a positive thing, that this product can fit on all bikes. But in fact, they're tricking you, because the fact that it's universal is a bad thing, because the fact that it fits all bikes means it doesn't really fit any bike properly. And it has so many adjustment points. Like in order to fit any bike, you have to be able to move things. You have to be able to unscrew them, adjust them, make them longer, make them shorter. And every one of those adjustment points where you have to put in a bolt and a nut and tighten it down, that is a weak point. So the end product, because it's universal, is actually weaker and not as good at the job it's supposed to do. Better would be for Daniel to be able to have, okay, this is my bicycle with my wheel size, and I want a pannier rack designed specifically to fit this bike. And then everything would be hard welded, because it has a certain shape right for that bike. So it won't have any weak points. It's not going to have any spots on it being held together by a series of nuts and bolts. But of course it would work better, it would be stronger, everything about it would be better, but of course now it's going to be 2 or 3 times more expensive. But I notice that all the time when you're out there shopping for something and you see a product, and the average person looks at something and, oh, it's universal, meaning it can fit anywhere. Whatever it is, a tool, a bathroom mirror, a water bottle, anything at all is designed to fit in a dozen different places. That is not a good thing. It just means that it really doesn't fit anywhere at all, at least not very well. So anyway, kind of had that idea. And the pannier rack is a very difficult thing to size, which I'm aware of from doing this quite a few times in my life. where it's a complicated puzzle of geometry, taking into account the size of your bike, but not just the size of it, but also the way the frame is, the shape of the triangles in that frame, and the angle of your seat post. So in this case, for Daniel's bike, his seat post, I think, is on quite a sharp angle. So it's going up and backwards, and then what happens is the pannier rack ends up sliding underneath the seat. So a good several inches of the pannier rack are kind of like underneath the seat, which makes it less accessible. And as we discovered at the very end, it's actually shorter than we imagined. Once we put it on the bike, and it had to, the way it fit, it was pushed far forward, and then Daniel was looking at it going, my backpack is like this big, and I usually strap my backpack on top of the rack, and now the rack is much shorter, so it's going to be hanging off the end. And we're kind of scratching our head looking at that going, So what if we unscrew this bolt and then drop it down by 2 notches, and that'll move this way? And I'm imagining all these different ways we can make adjustments to the mounting apparatus just to gain a couple of inches. And I still think it's possible to do that, but Daniel will just have to fiddle around with it over time. And his idea is a reasonable one, to be honest, which it kind of gets back to my point about how something is designed universally. And it's a heavy-duty piece of metal, but now his idea to fix it is to take a piece of wood and cut a piece of wood to fit in there so it extends out beyond the end of the rack and makes it longer, so that his backpack can rest on top of that piece of wood. So it's actually kind of funny when you think about it, that a specially designed piece of gear made out of metal, we're fixing it and making it suitable by adding wood to it. And he was talking about drilling some holes, and you put some bolts in there, and you strap on a piece of wood that sticks out the back. And yeah, it's what you end up doing with all these sorts of things. To make things work properly, you do a lot of modifications, DIY adjustments, and tinkering with it over time. Yeah, it's just the way things are. I was telling Daniel that my pannier racks, like on my bike, I bought them in 1998. So the same racks that I'm using today are the same ones I bought 26 years ago. And they were, at that time, kind of the best that money could buy. They were heavy duty. And I specifically bought them for that reason, because I wanted pannier racks that were heavy duty, could carry a really heavy load, and I wanted them to be as long as possible, because I knew about this problem with something long kind of hanging off the end. I wanted it to be long as possible and to have a flat surface on the top. So I bought these pannier racks called Jand Extreme, and they still make them to this day. If you go to their website, JANDD, and then you look for the Jand Extreme Expedition pannier racks, they still make them. The exact same racks that I bought 26 years ago, they're still making them and selling them today because they served a purpose. And these ones are pretty much one size. There's no adjustments in the rack itself. It's just like one solid welded piece of aluminum, actually. And oddly enough, though, I was telling Daniel this story. These things, we checked the price online just now, and they cost about $140 US each. So to buy 2 of them, front and rear, would cost you nearly $300 US just for the pannier racks. And Daniel's entire bicycle cost $200. So it's not like he's going to spend $300 on pannier racks for a $200 bike, right? That's way out of balance. But anyway, they're very expensive. That's what they cost. And they're very well designed. They're like custom welded. But I ordered them online, not online, what am I saying? How did I order them? How would you do things back in 1998? Did I make a phone call? I don't even remember. But anyway, they had to be shipped to me. I probably called the company. I think I made a phone call. I called them and placed an order and paid for it with a credit card. I guess I have no memory of what I did. And then they shipped them to me. And this was just a few days before my flight to Ethiopia, where I was going to go on a bike trip. And then I took out the front rack and they had misaligned it. Like they welded the thing together, but the 2 points at the bottom that attached to the bicycle, they were off by about 1 inch. So one was here and the other one was like 1 inch off. So when you put it on the bike, they didn't line up on the bolt holes. It was just, I couldn't believe it that they misaligned them like that. It was a mistake. It was a manufacturing defect. But I didn't have enough time to send it back. So I had to really fight with this thing. I put it in a vise. I was at my parents' house at the time. My dad had a workroom with a big vise, all the tools that dads have in Canada. And I mounted it in the vise, and I got vise grips and pipe wrenches, and I'm just trying to bend it a little bit to get it to fit. And I managed to get the holes to line up, but by twisting it, I ended up moving the rack out of alignment. So for the last 26 years, every time I've taken that bike out, I get so annoyed because I look down on my front rack and it's pointing off on an angle. It's not straight with the bike. It's sticking off to the side, and it just bothers me every time I see that. It still works fine. It doesn't affect the functionality, but it just bothers me. And I remember how those things, and here I am saying that these are the best pannier racks money could buy at the time. And yet the one I ended up getting was defective, and it wouldn't line up on the bolt holes. Anyway, that was pretty funny. So that's it. I enjoyed that quite a bit, though the whole expedition was a lot more tiring than I expected. I was sitting here in my room this morning, and I had a whole bunch of things to do for my own YouTube channel. And then I thought, I think I'll go drop in on Daniel. It was kind of a casual thought. I'll pop over there for a minute, say hi to Daniel, chat a little bit about his trip, upcoming plans for Indonesia, take a look at the new bike. It was going to be just a casual, just a pop over visit, and I'll come back here and we'll be done. But of course, I often make things much bigger. So I go over there to meet him, we're chatting, we're looking at the bike, and then he's going to go shopping for a pannier rack, and I say, I'll come with you. And then now we're off on a major expedition. And I basically spent most of the day with Daniel, and then the rain hit, and now the whole day was used up on this one visit, and I'm exhausted. So it wasn't supposed to be that way. It was supposed to be just a quick pop-over visit, and then I'm just going to come straight back here and get back to my own life. But now the day is pretty much over, and I'm exhausted. And so that is it. I'm shutting down for the night, and as always, if you go check out the Planet Doug Patreon, you can support the channel there by joining the Patreon. Look for some updates there, little photo posts, stories about what it is I'm doing, or just look on the YouTube Planet Doug main page, look under posts, you'll see updates there that are all in real time. And Buy Me a Coffee is there. The PayPal link is down in the video description. All of those things are there if you want to take advantage of them to keep Planet Doug spinning in orbit. So that's it. Shutting down. I'll see you next time.